Hi, everyone. This is Teresa Aker from Success Diaries with Teresa Aker. I would love to introduce you today to Jason Gobeli. He is an amazing author, and I'm just going to go over his bio. But first, I want to say, welcome here, Jason.
Thanks. Grateful to be here.
Yeah, we're happy to have you. So I'm just going to read your bio very quickly, and then we have lots to talk about, Jason. So Jason Gobeli is the author of 4 books. The books that he wrote was Infused Hypnosis, How Rocky the Lobster Outgrew His Shell, Do You Sabotage Yourself Without Even Knowing It, and Beyond Sales. Now, How Rocky the Lobster Outgrew His Shell was written for his grandson that he gave for Christmas. He's a married father of 3 and grandfather of 1. So from there, he is the author of the 4 books, nationally recognized speaker, multiple business. He has multiple businesses, including real estate. Also, he's a hypnosis, which is kind of neat for everybody. His latest book is called Beyond Sales, the neuroscience of advanced communication. So, Jason, we have lots to talk to you about today.
Wonderful, wonderful. Yes, it sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah, why don't you hold up how about your grandson's book? Let's take a look at that one
This
first.
is this is my grandson's book right here. It's called How
Wonderful.
Rocky the Lobster Outgrew His Shell. There it is with Rocky the Lobster and his 3 friends.
Oh, I
And
love it. Well done.
it's available on Amazon. So is the Infused Hypnosis book.
Okay,
The
and
other
what's
one,
the latest book that you have? Do you have that in front of you or no?
the latest book is in publishing right now. So
Oh,
it'll be
okay.
released. It's soon to be released. It's already written, it's ready to go, and it's being formatted. So I
Oh,
haven't got the hard copies yet, but it's on the way.
okay, wonderful. Now, where shall we get started today? We have so many options, Jason. Where can we start? How about, I'm so excited that you'll talk about hypnosis. Can we talk a little bit about that first?
Absolutely. And I'm just going to let you be the guide here because I can go down several different paths.
I
So
bet you can.
I'm a hypnotist and also neurolinguistic programmer. And all hypnosis is advanced communication. So, Teresa, have you ever driven down the road and thought, wow, how did I get here? Or past the exit that you were supposed to stop at?
Sure,
That's
lots of
called
times.
highway hypnosis. We're in hypnosis every day. Many people believe that they can't go into hypnosis, but the truth is, we really need to get out of the trance that we're already in. Our whole lives, we've been taught limiting beliefs, and we got this patterns of behavior that we go through. And sometimes what we really need to do is rewire those minds. Our conscious mind can only think of 7 things at one time, give or take 2, depending on the person.
Okay.
Unconsciously, though, we think of millions of things. We think of the hair, it controls the hair on our arms, it controls our breathing, it controls just all kinds of things. What hypnosis does, it's an advanced form of communication, which actually brings the unconscious that we are aware of, but we don't actually are conscious of it, brings it to the awareness. So that way we can actually work on the unconscious and make changes that need to happen so we don't repeat those same patterns of behavior over and over again that just aren't conducive for us and aren't good for us. Now, I'll give you an example right now. This is going to kind of blow your mind. I think the viewers out here will get a kick out of this too. Unconsciously, you think of everything, but consciously, you don't notice it. But right now, as I'm talking to you, I'm going to bring something to awareness. You're now aware of the feeling of your tongue inside your mouth. That's
Yes,
right. That's right.
I am.
Yes, you are. Yes.
Let me ask you something. When we talk about the subconscious and the conscious mind, I've certainly also read a lot about that. Jason, let me ask you something. So I understand that when we're born, and maybe perhaps even in the last trimester, until we're 7, we do not have a conscious mind, we have a subconscious mind. So everything is fed into that for the first 7 years. Is that correct?
No, I believe that we're conscious and we're aware.
Okay.
I think that kids are very aware. As a matter
Okay,
of
good.
fact, they're aware of what's going on and they're aware of what's happening. I think what happens is, though, is there's a thing in our conscious which is called the critical faculty. And what that does is that has a discernment and it blocks things off and it limits us from, believing different possibilities. And I
So,
also think that it could be a deficit then when we lose some of that critical faculty.
so do you think we are actually programmed by our parents and our families and our surroundings when we're young, or do you believe in that, or do you think that's a possibility?
Yeah, of course we're programmed by our surroundings,
So is
but
that not subconscious programming? I'm just
it is everything's a subconscious program. You know, all the events that happen to us are of subliminal programming because it's all stored,
yeah,
remembered or not. And a lot of fears and phobias happen at a young age, and they're carried on, and they might not even have a lot to do with what the fear or phobia is. It's just
sure.
there's connections that's connected in the unconscious mind. Now, the thing about the kids, though, is you could be talking to some kids and say, hey, there's a purple dinosaur in the other room. And the kids are going to believe it. They're going to run in there and they go, oh my God, there's going to be a purple dinosaur in the other room. And so they're going to run in there and they're going to be all excited. And it's going to be wonderful. However, an adult will be like, a purple dinosaur? Really? And they're going to doubt it. And that's the difference, is that the kids will accept more and they'll be open to more.
So
And
they have do they have a like a bigger imagination? So that's sort of the program, not programming, but imagination kind of kicks in there, where as we're adults, we're more logical, right?
I think it's definitely more logical. We more go into the right brain and there's more discernment there.
Right.
There's
Right.
more discernment there. And, reality, we never know. Maybe Barney's in the other room.
We never know. Now, can
That's
we
right.
change our subconscious mind? Can we reprogram ourselves?
Absolutely. See, so think of it like this. If you're walking through the forest and there's a path, and you take this path over and over and over again, and it becomes a trail and it becomes ingretted, and there's no grass or roots over it. It just becomes a path. Now, sometimes these paths lead to areas we just don't want to go. I mean, many people in relationships get into the same fight over and over again, and like, how do we get there? Or even someone who's not into a relationship gets in the same relationships that they try to get into and they don't work for them. They do it over and over again. It's based off of the pattern that they're taking and the path that they're taking. It's unconsciously done and we're not even aware of it. But if we block off that path and we create a new path, then what happens is the new path starts to be embedded and the old path starts to grow over. And that's kind of how reprogramming and rewiring the subconscious mind works.
I think you're onto something there. Now, I would say that certainly I had a couple of marriages in my life, just qualifying that. But when I dated when I was young, you're right. I had a certain type of guy that I dated, but then I wanted to get married, so now I'm looking for a different type of guy. So those people now did not really fit in my thought patterns. So now I wanted someone more serious and more loving and wanted to marry. And regardless, I got divorced the first time, but he was wonderful. And then of course, I married my husband later, and we had a wonderful marriage. And he was everything I could imagine in a man. Oh my goodness, he was honestly the best plus one. Now he has passed away since, but I can assure you that it was my decision that I wanted to be with someone specifically with those characters. So after my husband passed away, John, it was 4 years ago, I have never gone out there to date again because Jason, he was the best plus one. So it's just not an interest. You get to a point, I have my business and I have my podcast and my beautiful family. So you just get to a point, I think your brain at certain chapters of your life gets not reprogrammed, but you get a different download almost, if you will.
I think God takes us exactly where we're meant to be.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Thank you. I believe in that. I like to think God has a hand in that. Absolutely. Or
Yes.
the source or your higher self, whatever you call as.
Same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
same
So
thing.
when you work with people, when you do you do hypnosis? Do you sit down with
Absolutely.
clients and do that?
Absolutely. I do it live and I do it online. And then my
Oh,
first book, Infused Hypnosis, that has to do with the modality that I created. Now it's called Infused Hypnosis, the transformative power of the FFL modality. The FFL modality I created. FFL stands for faith, forgiveness, and love. And what it does
faith,
is it
forgiveness, and love. Let me say that. Yeah.
absolutely. And it deals with future, past, and present. And it has
Okay.
to do with the state of living. See, so many of us have worries and fears and anxieties. That gets built up, well, because of what's going to happen in the future.
Right.
That has to do with future. Faith gets us through that. It's a principle that we can practice, that everything's going to be okay, that we can believe in ourselves and have trust in ourselves and have faith in ourselves and faith in that source, God, higher power, whatever you want to call it, but that divine that's inside us. And when we have faith, we don't have to worry. We don't have to have those fears. Forgiveness deals with the past. So many times we see people who had things happen in their past, and what happened to me back in 1973 doesn't have to affect how I'm living today. I'm not a result of my past. I'm not a product of that. So forgiveness allows me to forgive myself and forgive others. It lets me let go of that pain, that baggage, that hurt, that shame, that stuff that I've been carrying, so that I can live in the present and live in the moment, because that's the only thing we have. See, yesterday is a canceled check. Tomorrow is a promissory note. And today, sorry about that. And today is cash in hand. So today is the only thing we really have, is cash in hand. And so that's what we focus on. It's present living. It's living in the now. It's living in here. And it's just focus on moving forward. Now, when we live in the now, we practice the one principle, love, because that's what it's all about. If we do the right thing for the right reasons and treat other people right with, the love and respect that they deserve, everything works out. So it has to do with acceptance and love and being there. And that's the FFL modality. And I try to infuse that in all of my hypnosis work.
That's amazing. I was listening to you, and I think I want to come back to one thing you said. You said forgiveness, and that's important. I
Yes.
agree with that so
Yes.
much. What advice would you give as a hypnotist, or as a hypnotist, can you help people who just can't seem to, you're so angry with someone, you just can't let it go, and you should, but you're unable to. Is that where hypnosis comes in? You kind of help people there, or do you do something like writing it out and, burning it and things like that? What would you do?
You could do the writing out and burning and things like that, but hypnosis can get so much done. You can
Okay.
do in hypnosis in one session what it takes years of therapy to accomplish. And a lot of the bigger problem isn't what happened in the whole situation that happened. Of course, there are wrongs, but a lot of it has to do with how it affects me and how I react to it. Some things that have happened in the past where I may have a resentment towards somebody else, or I may even have some shame and guilt over something that I've done. I might be carrying that for years, and
Right.
that becomes my personal baggage, where the other person involved doesn't even know it.
Yeah. They're sleeping at night and you're thinking, I'm so angry still.
Yes, yes. And so it's a matter of getting in touch with that and being able to heal inside. And a lot of that, we just have to get inside it and get rid of that baggage that's there. And some of the events might even be tied to other events too.
Oh,
They kind
that's
of
a
like
very
get
good point where you're
intertwined.
bringing,
Yes,
that's
we
a
have a
very good
tendency to tie things together, and sometimes they don't even belong tied together. It's just our way of thinking.
excellent thought. Of course, because if you have something negative that triggers here, it may trigger later on and then again. So you're right. It may not necessarily be about the moment. It might be all those triggers that come together that have the same effect that you still haven't resolved, right?
We're repeating those same patterns of
Yeah.
behavior over and over again. And then we say to ourselves, how did I get into this situation again? I know better.
I, I've done that so many times. I thought, Teresa, you know better than this.
It's embedded, Teresa. It's embedded in that path in your unconscious mind that needs to be cut off, grown over, so you can create a new path in a new direction.
And how do I do that, Jason?
It has to do with getting into the unconscious mind and rewiring and changing those
And how
patterns.
do I get into my subconscious mind to
Well,
rewire it?
you can do self hypnosis. You can
Oh,
get a hypnotist to help you. You can
very
do
good.
meditation.
Oh,
There's all
okay,
kinds of ways that you can get in touch, but you need to get in touch with that source of strength that's inside you. I can help guide you there,
good.
but the key is for you to get there.
Yeah, that's the big key, right? And
Yeah,
sometimes we don't even recognize what the problem is, right? We're kind of like fish in a fishbowl. They're swimming around in the water. They don't know they're in a fishbowl. They think they're in a lake. So we don't really
absolutely.
know what's around us. We may not even be aware.
Absolutely. So remember when you were in elementary school?
I
Back
do.
in elementary school, you're in the third grade, and you got this one kid, and this kid is just, well, he's a jerk. And what he does is he has a little sticky note and he puts kick me on your back. And you're walking around school and you're wondering, why are people laughing? What's this? Why are people wanting to kick me and stuff like this? And you don't know what's going on. Sometimes there's things that we just don't see. And we
That's
need
right.
someone to say, hey, get that sticker off your back, man. Someone to be there and help us get through it. So I think that's probably a good visual to explain how that works.
It does, doesn't it? So sometimes we're not even aware, or and I think too of I have friends and they act like their parents, and you say, "You boy, you're just like your mom," and they're like, "Don't say that. I'm nothing like my mom," but they're not even aware of how much they're like their parents, right? I mean, we've seen that so many times. So that filtering and that upbringing is coming through loud and clear, but they don't even recognize that.
And then there's a second part to that too, is once you know, you can't not know anymore. And
Right.
some people will pretend like they don't know so they can repeat those same behaviors and live in those same things. But when you know, you can't not know no more. So it's up to you to move on and try something different. However, and I was talking about this yesterday on a post that I posted on social media, that I think that as we get older, it's easier for us to be more comfortable in being stagnant,
Oh, okay.
where we just get stuck in that same pattern, that, comfort zone, and it keeps us stuck. Whereas when we were young, we were willing to try new things, just like the kid who first learns how to walk. I'm sure it wasn't comfortable for them to take the first steps, but they just did it because of the belief in themselves and they just wanted to do it and be like the others. You know, as we get older, we're afraid to take those steps that take us to places we really want to go.
Yeah.
And that comfort, staying in that comfort zone keeps us stuck. And I think that needs to be rewritten as well.
Jason, well said. That I think, and boy, for this audience, I mean, I'm not 20 anymore, and I'm doing things that I never thought I would do before. I want to take on the world. Life's too short. I want to have fun and do the things. I hear so many people say, I would like to write a book, or I'd like to do this, start a podcast, do all of that. I encourage that. I don't care what age you are. In fact, I just saw a gentleman on YouTube. He's not on my show, but I'm going to ask him. He's 80 years old, started a podcast, and he's doing great. And I think, well done. I think we have to have a mindset that age is just a number, really. And we don't want to regret things in life because we're not on this earth forever.
Yes, yes. I'm 62.
I
So
am
I'm
too.
doing,
We're the same age.
you're the same age. Yep, yep, 1962, born in 62 and 62 years old, same thing. And
Yeah.
anyway, so the thing of it is that I see this all the time, but I learn from other people, and we all learn because there are people in our path that teach us. We interviewed someone on our podcast, and it was actually a couple, the first couple we interviewed, and they're late 70s, and they just got together
Nice.
recently and formed their relationship. And they were talking about how you can live life in your older years. They have a great, wonderful relationship. They said they find their soulmate. What made it really interesting is that he used to be a minister
Oh, very nice.
and she used to be a Catholic nun.
Oh, is that right?
Yes, they got together. They got a great story. It's on our podcast, Hypno Travelers of the Magical Psyche Highway. It's awesome to hear. Now they travel and they help people with healing and stuff like that. And she's into Reiki, energy healing,
Oh, sure.
and she's also into aromatherapy
And I don't want
because,
to state the obvious, but God probably has a hand in that one too, right?
well, she said that they're both biblical and she can explain
Sure.
how. And it's so interesting that those modalities cross lines, even though people in those modalities don't necessarily cross lines.
That's right. Oh, isn't that nice? Oh, I love those stories. I actually have friends that got married in their she was in her 70, it turned 70, and he was 75, and they got married about 7 years ago. And I was so grateful to be at their wedding, and they're the nicest couple. So you know what? It doesn't matter, does it?
That's right. You never know what's in store. We just put in the footsteps, go in the
That's
right direction.
That's right. So I encourage everybody, and you're doing, we just Understood. We're both 62. We're both doing podcasts. You've written books. I'm well on my way. And you even talked to me about helping me with that. So there you are helping me.
There you
We're,
go.
we're doing things at ages that I don't think our parents and grandparents thought they would ever do. I think they had kind of a retirement mindset. I'm never retiring. I'm going to be right here until then.
A friend of mine doesn't call it age 62, he calls it level 62, and I like to think of
I
it that
like
way.
that. I like that. Level 62.
Yes.
Even better. My husband used to always say, I'm 70 years young, 70 years young. He was older than me. Excuse me, of course. But he always said he was 70 years young or 71 years young, whatever. So I
Nice.
mean, yeah, we have to enjoy life and make the best of it. And as you said, hypnosis, whether it's self-hypnosis or someone like yourself that can help everyone, that's great. Now, you have 4 books out.
Four books.
I would like to talk a little bit, if you don't mind, about your grandson's book. I know you showed it, but you
My
did it for
grandson's
Christmas.
book, the how Rocky the Lobster outgrew his shell. It's interesting what it is. It's a story of Rocky the Lobster. I'll give you a quick synopsis of it.
Sure.
And he struggles. He's not getting along very well with the kids in
Oh,
school. And he's got 4 friends that he hangs around with. And one of them, Kenny the Crab, is he gets kind of upset sometimes. And when he gets his feelings hurt, he picks on others. And he gets, he's that kind of kid.
yeah.
And the other one is Sam the Squid. And he jokes around to try to make friends. He laughs. He's the class clown. He makes fun of, just plays around all the time. And then the other one is Chris the Clam. And Chris likes to stay in a shell. He's really shy, doesn't talk to anybody. He just feels like, an outcast and a loner. And the story is about how they interact in the playground and get into a fight. And, Miss Sophie, the teacher, comes in and brings them all into the office. And they got into a fight because Kenny the Crab was teasing Sam the Squid, of course, right?
Oh,
So she gives him a life lesson. And I bring in a little bit of my FFL modality lightly into that for the kids. And, I have a little other things that's brought in later on where Rocky gets some self-discovery by finding a mirror and does some ho'oponopono work and stuff. And I don't call it that, of course. We make it very for the kids, very simple. And when he comes back, he's changed.
oh,
And when he changes himself and he changes his behavior, it changes the relationships with all 4 of those guys.
very good.
And yeah, they all get along better. They become best friends and they form a rock and roll band. And
Oh.
the quiet one, the shy one, he becomes the lead singer because he finally found his voice.
Oh, isn't that nice?
Yeah.
Oh, I love that book. I think your characters are amazing that you've come together. Now, how old is your grandson? Can we ask that?
He's like 5, I think.
So he must love it.
Oh yeah, yeah. And his name is Elijah, but
Elijah. Oh, I like that. That's
I call him Rocky. That's what I've always called him. That's
oh,
his name
okay.
for me. So since I called him Rocky, we wrote the story about Rocky the Lobster because that's him.
Oh, I love that. That's wonderful. Now, where can we buy your books, Jason?
Amazon. You can get
They're
it on
on
Amazon. But if you want to just see the book and see it, I actually have it on YouTube where I actually read the book.
Oh,
So
isn't
that
that
way you can see
great?
the book, you can listen to the book for free. And then when you see it and you say, oh, this is a pretty cool book, you can buy one for the kids because even though you listen to it on YouTube, they're going to want to have a copy in their hand that they can hold.
I'll make sure I put your YouTube videos on here too, so that people know where to go. And everybody, you can like and subscribe for Jason. That
Thank
would be
you.
good for him.
Thank you.
And yeah, we can definitely do that for you to promote that. Well
Yeah,
done,
and
Jason.
if you could put my website there because that connects them to all kinds of things. I have my website is www.go-under.com. Go
I'm
dash under, like
I'm gonna make
go
sure
under
that.
hypnosis, go under trance, go under a new way of life.
Oh, I
It's all
like that.
change work.
I'll make sure it's on here underneath. So
Thank
when
you.
we do the YouTube, when I put it up on YouTube, it'll be right on here as well. And everybody, thank you. If you like and subscribe my channel too, if you could do that, that would be helpful because then we can bring you some more content like
We'll
this.
share back and forth.
We
Yes.
share back and forth, absolutely. And I'll be
Yeah.
promoting for you, Jason, and
I'll,
definitely
I'll I'll do this too. I'll promote this all over social media.
Yeah, you know, we encourage each other and we make sure we do that. But Jason,
Absolutely.
I wanted to just ask you quickly, you have some other businesses and you've been selling real estate for a long time. Are you still doing real estate?
Yes, I have a real estate brokerage.
Okay.
And real estate I've been doing for years. I've also have a real estate investment company where uh, before the market crashed, I was doing real estate seminars across the United States for the International Association of Investors.
Wow.
Teaching no money down things and stuff like that, creative financing, foreclosures, all kinds of stuff.
Okay.
And and uh, and I was one of their seminar speakers. And then when the market crashed, that business kind of faded away when the market crashed in
Sure.
'08. And so we have that going on. I also have another real estate company. It's called 3D Real Estate Developers, where we actually own a 3D printer that makes houses out of concrete with a 3D printer.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
That's
So
fascinating.
yeah, I got a lot of things in my repertoire and in my resources and bag of tools that I think are very helpful to a lot of people.
Jason, you have been wonderful today. I
Thank
wonder
you.
if you'll come back and talk to us again since we have so much more to talk about.
Oh yeah, anytime. I'm here. And yeah, there's so many directions. When you asked me at the beginning, where do we go? It's like, where can't we go? There's so many
Exactly,
places that we can
exactly.
go. Yeah.
And I'd like, you know, we certainly want to have you come back. And the audience, if you want to just message Jason or myself, anything more that you'd like to ask, we're certainly open to that. And I'll make sure that Jason's bio is at the bottom. You'll be able to read it. And Jason, if anybody wants to get a hold of you right now, what is the easiest way? Is that your web page?
You can go to my webpage,
Okay.
that www.go-under.com. My email is there too, go.under.trance at Gmail. I mean, you can reach me. I'm around. Shoot,
Good.
I'm all over the internet. You just Google my name, Jason Gobeli, and all kinds of stuff will come up. I'm easy to be found.
You are also easy to talk to. It has been
Thank
a
you.
great show today. I thank you so much for coming on, Jason, and we're looking forward to having you again. And
Eh,
to everyone else, this is Teresa Aker from Success Diaries with Teresa Aker. I hope you're having a great day, and I look forward to talking to you all very soon. Thank you again, and have a great day.
Thanks, Teresa. Remember to